let's go back and practice solving some of these multi-step equations real quick. I'm going to start by drawing a line down my equal sign. This just helps me figure out the left side and the right side of the equation. And if you guys remember, there was that kind of series of steps we would take in isolating and getting x all by itself and that kind of stuff. So our first step would be to use the distributive property. The distributive property is where we take the number on the outside of our parentheses and multiply it to the two quantities that are inside. So 8 times 1 gets you 8. 8 times 5x gets me 40x. And I'm going to bring that plus sign down. And then this plus 5 is just going to come back down here. Let me write it a little better. This plus 5 comes back down, and then I did not touch the right-hand side, so let's continue with this. I have a couple terms that I can combine. This 8 plus this 5 is 13. And then 40x is just 40x. And then over here, I have 13 plus 5x. So what I'm going to do here, because I have the same variable, or the x on both sides, I need them to be on the same side to solve this. So what we were talking about in class was moving the one that has the smaller coefficient. In this case, 5 is a lot smaller than 40, so let's subtract 5x from both sides, because that makes a 0, and I'm going to cross it out. I'm just left with 13 over here. Let's make sure we're also subtracting it from this side to get 35x plus 13. This is just a two-step equation. Let's clean up and do our inverse operations on this side as well, subtracting 13 on both sides to get this expression. And then if I divide by 35, I end up with x equals 0. So that is one multi-step equation. You might see something like this. I'm going to start kind of by doing the same process. Split up my side. Let's multiply real quick. 12 times 2k would be 24k, plus 12 times 11 is 132. And then let's multiply these as well. Distributive property on both sides. 12 times 2k again is 24k. Plus 12 times 12 is 144. So in this kind of situation, you already have an idea that something weird is going to happen. But if I look at both of the k terms, they're the same. So if I were to try to move one, because it canceled out on one side, it's going to cancel out on the other side, right? 24 minus 24k is 0. And then 24k minus 24k on this side is also 0. So I end up with this equation that is false, right? 132 is not equal to 144. So this is false, which means there is no solution. So the first case, we got our answer, x was 0. In this case, because there was no variable left, there is going to be no solution here, right? This is a false statement, so there's no solution. Let's just look at one more. I'm going to draw a line down my equal sign, do some distributive property. I end up with 10x plus 10. And then this negative 3 is going to come down for the ride. Same with this 10x plus 7. Combine our like terms. I've got negative 3 plus 10 to get 7. And then 10x can't be combined with anything, and these can't be combined with anything either. So we're going to get another weird situation where if I try to move one of my variables by doing the inverse, it ends up canceling on both sides. But in this case, this is a true statement. 7 is equal to 7. So because when I solved it, I ended up with a true statement, this means there are infinite solutions. So again, those three different types of equations are here where there's one solution, here where there's a false statement, which means there's no solution, and if you get a true statement at the end, there are infinite solutions.